said something that triggered me at the signing. You had asked me about the super bomb through the table and how I land it and if I have pain from it.
Yep.
And I told you, I said, every time I see Gary Wolf, he always tells me how much Anthony protected me. And I never felt the same way. I never felt like I was protected on that bump. And when you said that, it made me feel like I was justified in my thoughts. Cause I said to myself, is it me? Is there something going on? But when you told me that, I was like, damn, I'm glad somebody else realized that there was something off on that. Because like I said, to this day, I still have problems with my tailbone and my lower back and the arthritis and this, that, and the other thing. But I always felt guilty for feeling that way because, and I love Gary. I never had heat with Gary. Anthony, that's another story. God rest his soul.
I mean, first of all, I like Anthony and Gary coming up, working with the pit bulls, good dudes. But nobody has mastered the art of putting somebody through a table like I have. And that's not me blowing smoke up my own ass. It's just a fact. I have had more women in my hands.
And
seriously, I have had more women's in my hands that I have super bombed through tables than anybody else. And nobody else, Francine, has even tried it. Yeah, you might get a guy who gives a girl a standing power bomb, but you'll never see somebody sit on the top rope and do the sit out one that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never throw a woman the way you got thrown because it's almost impossible because of trajectory to land a woman or a man for that matter flat. It is a little easier with a dude because a heavier dude will go south before they head out.
Okay.
I can get a heavier dude to go straight down. A lighter woman, the minute I come off, her body will want to float out. And your body floated, and that's why you landed on your tailbone. I believe that Gary and Anthony had all the best intentions for you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they didn't, but I don't know that. Mm-hmm. All I know is I've seen you after years and years of doing this and seeing how you landed. I can tell you, I'm not surprised if your hips were broken or out of whack for your entire life because you landed on your tailbone and your hips. And just one of those bumps can bang you up for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, I broke my pelvis right after that. So it kind of added to the lopsidedness that I was already having as I was walking. But it just triggered me when you said that. I was just like, wow, somebody else noticed. And it's not in my head that it was off. Like I always felt like it was off. And I always get compliments on it. Like, wow, it was such a great bump. And I'm like, yeah, it hurt like hell. You know what I mean? But I just, when you said that, it just made me feel justified in my thoughts. So
yep. I would have never done you like that. I would have held you in and kept you close so I could control your body more.
Yeah. Anthony, I liked Anthony, just to clarify. But he would always ask me on dates and I would always say no. And that resulted into some stiff moments in the ring. And so I feel like and I love Gary to death, but I was always scared to have to work with Anthony. And then when we got into the program where Shane and Anthony worked together, I got stiffed a bunch of times. And I never said anything back then because I was just taught to just shut your mouth. And if you have to cry, go to the bathroom, go cry in a corner, do something. Don't let them see you. And that's what I always did. Yeah. And that's what I always did. But, I hate to talk about him because he's not here. But we had Todd Gordon on. Todd Gordon goes, oh, should I talk about the time that Anthony thought you should give him a BJ because, you were his manager and he felt like he deserved one? And I'm like, no, we don't have to really go into details. But yeah. That's a lot of the 90s I mean, I feel like the women are or have more respect maybe nowadays, but like back then, I was just trying to prove myself and like, yeah, I want to work and I want to be seen as one of the boys. I don't want to be seen as some girl who came in as somebody's girlfriend off the street, you know? So when the guys would say stuff, and many did, I would kind of just brush it off, and some got the hint and some didn't. And you just roll with the punches. And that's what I did.
All right.
Yeah, well, you have to do that. But I never knew if it was deliberate or if it was accidental, because things had happened before that bump. And I always
I mean,
wondered.
from what I could tell, it just the wrong angle, and
Yeah,
I would have just held you instead of let you go.
gotcha. I gotcha.